Hello, good day, my SVers. This is Satellite Media. Mr. Chinedu Michael, let us look at the tax reform bill of the president. We are looking at it vis-a-vis the natural resources in the country, how people are trying to form alliance to see how they protect their interests. We have seen a Sarah Edison, who is from Biafran State, of course, the former governor of Biafran State, saying that the pay tax that Lagos State is collecting from Niger Delta should be returned to Niger Delta. And we are taking a critical look on gas reserve. Of course, Nigeria ranked number 9 in the whole world. Russia is number 1. And we have a situation where in Nigeria, you have about 2 trillion cubic feet of gas. Half of it is located in Imo State. And we are talking about restructuring. We are talking about Biafra. Do you think the Igbos will allow the resources fall to Nigeria?
I don't think it's an information. The data is there. It has been there for a very long time. The Igbo community, the Igbo think tanks knows about it, that so much resources is already there. Not only that, gas you're talking about, there are so many, already that are deposited in that place. Like up to 30%, of natural resources, including crude and other things, are well deposited in the political named Southeast. But when you talk about when you want to be holistic, yes, in the Biafran context, the Biafran nation has what it takes to become the giant of Africa in terms of infrastructure, in terms of development, in terms of politics, political principles, democracy, name it. But what are we saying? The Bola Ahmed Tinubu tax reform is being seen as a threat, a political threat. It's a political threat. The North is seeing it from that angle. And what is there? Highest, we are not going to make it the second time. So what's the big deal about it? But the problem is that, is Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually convinced about the tax reform, the fiscal policy? What does he intend to achieve? How transparent is it? Has it been put in the public domain? Has Nigerians contributed into it? Has Nigerians bought into it before you bring it to the public?
Why? Sorry, I think by now the Igbos should be shouting hallelujah. Because if they are saying, take a larger percentage of what comes from your zone in terms of tax, and we see that the gas reserve in Nigeria is about 2 trillion metric tons feet is deposited in Imo State. I think they should be shouting hallelujah.
Okay, there's nothing like hallelujah here. What are we shouting hallelujah for? So you want the whole system to be corrupted the way they corrupted the oil sector in Nigeria? Nobody's going to shout hallelujah. It's people of Bayelsa State shouting hallelujah now. If people from River State shouting hallelujah, we shouldn't be talking about whether anybody should be shouting hallelujah because of the so-called tax bill, that you are not even sure that government is honest and transparent with it. So this is not the time for hallelujah yet, because we have not been able to factor Tinubu's administration in anything that is structured toward the development of this country.
So should this be a case of leave our gas alone?
No, it's not a case of leave our gas alone. It's a case of are we getting it right?
So who should take the gas now? Is it Nigerian government? I mean the gas. Who should take possession of it?
Well, it's first, let me tell you in honest truth, as it stands now, we are not getting it right. We are not getting it right. So it means that if we are not getting it right, the Nigerian government does not owe it in the first place, because we are not getting it right. So why are we not talking about total restructuring? Why are we talking about regionalism? Why are we not looking at those areas and be able to do some of these things holistically? Why picking some of these insignificant factors and everybody is snatching their teeth over ordinary tax reform that we don't know actually whether this government mean what they are trying to achieve, or it was just a mere propaganda to break the country?
Okay, are you saying if there's a holistic review and restructuring, you will jettison the idea of Biafra and embrace Nigeria?
Okay, who tells you that?
No, it's a question.
No, I don't think so. I'm talking about Nigerian context. When the Nigerian, when the Biafran issue comes into it, then we look at it from that angle. I don't think anybody wants to do that.
Okay, at what point will you embrace Nigeria and jettison Biafra agitation?
Only when they name the entire Nigeria Biafra.
Will that satisfy you?
That's what I am talking about.
Okay, what would that achieve?
It will.
How people will it serve?
Let's see. It will achieve identity. It will achieve humanity. It will achieve freedom, and it will achieve leadership.
Will that change the leadership structure of the country?
Of course, it will. When God said Adam, Abraham, it was Abraham, and it was changed to Abraham. What happened when he became Abraham? That's the question we need to ask yourself. Somebody was Abraham and later become Abraham. What happened when he became Abraham?
But do you think the government have this gas in mind when they started?
Oga, let me tell you.
No, I'm saying, do you think in your estimation that the federal government
God will not allow them to see anything that is naturally deposited by God in Biafran land?
But wait, let me say the record.
I said God will not allow them to see it.
But let me say the record straight. As we speak currently, Russia has the highest deposit of gas in the world. Nigeria ranked number 9. And out of what that ranking of Nigeria, Imo State has 50%. And we are talking about 2 trillion cubic feet of gas, meaning half of it is located in Imo State. Do you think the federal government had this in mind before they talk about it? Because they will need more money for Imo State by session.
Oga, let me tell you, in this corrupt system, we shouldn't be talking about more money. In corrupted Nigeria, we shouldn't be talking about more money. In a system where there is injustice, all the institutions are corrupt. INEC, judiciary. For somebody to say that judiciary is corrupt and he's been arrested.
I'm talking about
I said he said that instead of them looking at how they're going to, sanitize the judiciary, they went after somebody that pointed something that is actually wrong with the judiciary. So how do you think that you can factor yourself, or Igbo State can factor whatever millions of cubic they have there into the use of the people? It will still, filter into the wrong hands, filter into corruption, and become, a cause. The way oil has become a cause to Nigeria. That is just the truth.
Okay, if you were to advise Biafrans, your brothers, sequel to this tax reform in relation to what will come to Igbos, Biafrans, if the bill society, what will be your advice?
Okay, let me be very honest with you. I am talking about reorientation. I am talking about, identity. I am also talking about leadership. In the absence of all this, there's no need to advising anybody whether it is going to work or not, whether gas deposit is going to be the benefit of the people or not. But the fact still remains that I do not support this cut and nail restructuring.
You call it cut and nail.
Cut and nail, that's what I'm saying now. Is it holistically done? No, what stops is that champions, okay, regionalism. Let everybody, whatever tax.
Okay, will you be satisfied with regionalism, if I may ask?
What are you talking about?
Will you jettison Biafra for regionalism?
What do you mean? Okay, let me explain to you. I want this kind of.
Mr. Chinedu, I put this question to you. Will you jettison Biafra for regionalism?
Can you allow me to tell you
yes,
what I'm talking about?
I will.
Regionalism, when you say regionalism, you give the entire eastern region. Entire eastern region. Then the issue of ideology comes in. The issue of identity comes in. The issue of who you are comes in. And when it comes here, are you going to say regionalism or Igbos? What are you talking about? That region is entirely Biafra. Whatever the Yoruba decide to call their own region is their business. Whatever the Hausas want to call their own region is their business. We must understand what we are talking about. We don't have to continue to, recolonize ourselves because we do not have the beginning of what we want to do. The reality on ground is very simple. Nigerians have lost identity. The country too have lost identity. Imagine where you say you are looking at you don't know where you come from. You don't know who is behind you. You don't know what you mean to the world. You don't even know the purpose of which you are created. absolutely become confused. Nigeria is a confused entity now because Nigeria do not know how they came up with Nigeria.
No, lastly on this, Mr. Chinedu Michael, will it be comfortable for Nigerian sovereign state to manage the over 1,000 cubic, 1 trillion cubic feet? No, let me come with the question. 1 trillion cubic feet of gas in Imo State. Will it be comfortable for Nigerian
so why you mention 1,000? What is the meaning?
It's an access to the world.
Access to the world, not to Nigeria.
By Nigeria by extension. It's domiciled in Nigeria.
I'm telling you, it's domiciled in Eastern region, which is a subnational of Nigeria.
When they say Russia, I'm coming. When they say Russia has a high deposit, and they mention Nigeria as the ninth, being the ninth position, you see, they are talking about the world have need for it, and we have it in Nigeria by extension in Biafra land. And currently, the southeastern part of the country is part of Nigeria. Will it be comfortable for Nigeria to
national? Like that, are they behaving the way Russians are behaving? Are they sophisticated the way Russians are sophisticated? Are they developed? Have they been able to manage? Have they been able to show leadership by example? Have they been able to prove to other subnationals that they have what it takes to develop and provide justice for all? In the absence of that, Oga, the gas you are talking about in Imo State that is being believed to be one of the largest in the world.
Not believe.
Oga, wait, let me tell you.
It's the largest.
Asking me a question. I'm telling you, it will be a cost, and we will reject that. As simple as that.
You reject that Nigeria to manage it.
Well, you don't understand what I'm saying. Managing something that they don't know how to manage. Managing to destroy the way they destroyed the so-called Niger Delta. They created South and they destroyed it.
Does it not belong to Nigeria?
It does not belong to Nigeria.
I said it belongs to subnational. Subnational.
It does not belong to Nigeria. It belongs to Biafra.
You know what I mean by subnational, sir? Imo State is a sub of the government.
Imo State belongs to Biafra. That gas belongs to Biafra.
And you must understand that. And the one they have been managing for over 64 years or thereabout now, they could not manage it well. So bringing another burden on the system will spell more doom. So I would advise them, whoever that is, Pipi Alaka, to one Zuna. No, I'm telling you, honest truth. I'm being honest with you. They should please look inwards. Let us be able to transform, make thorough use to the benefit of the masses, Nigerians. Before we say, okay, let me tell you, do you know what the Salice said? He said, too much fish in the pond will stay up the mud.
Okay, is it a case of leave our gas for us?
He said what?
Finally, is it a case of leave our gas for us?
What do you mean by leave our gas? The natural resources there,
No, I say is it a case of Igbos telling federal government leave our gas for us?
Leaving the gas for Biafrans, not leaving the gas for us. We are the cause. We are talking about gas. We are talking about, when you're talking about us, we are talking about Biafrans, because Biafrans do not want such resources to be mismanaged the way they destroyed and polluted the Niger Delta. That fear alone will bring resistance. And I think, until we begin to see some level of change, some level of commitment, some level of prudency, management in terms of natural resources that God has already deposited for the convenience of economic well-being of Nigerians. But unfortunately, even with this kind of thing you are talking about, Nigeria does not talk about 24 hours electricity. And even at that, is it the transport system that's working? Is there anything you are seeing now that's being powered? Is there any massive infrastructure that's being powered through the resources we have in this country? There's coal there. There's so many things. It's unfortunate that Edwin Clark paid Fulani agents in the Niger Delta does not understand what it takes. But God is going to surprise them. God is going to teach them a lesson. By the time Rotimi Amechi emerges as the next organized president, then God will begin to single them out one after another and be asking them questions. Where were they? Can he come out today and boast that, yes, I stood and defended the Delta interest? I'm talking about Edwin Clark, 0/0. We know his history. We know his history from the beginning to where he is now. And we know his interest. And we know whatever they're going to, they are protecting. It's insignificant. There is Igbo community in Bayelsa, a larger community that controls up to 40% of that community. And nobody, but I'm telling you, whether they like, let it just, because it's very upsetting, let it just take over that the little community in the town and let them remain. Let me look, see whether the world will answer them and not bringing Igbo speaking communities, nations in the entire Biafran land, and they are claiming it is by Niger Delta Republic. You know the meaning of Niger Delta? It tells you that what the concept of South-South. But in reality of it all is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu might likely, if pushed to the wall, use this tax reform to break the country. And
okay, we make our time. Thank you very much for your time. This is Alamida and Samatu. I think we are going to make our time to look at all the areas of.
Yes, you make our time because I'm telling you the way it stands now. I pray that it does not suspend her. It does not suspend it. It cannot to put. If there is serious resistance from the north, then the only option is that everybody should go their separate way. Then I will know whether the north will survive without the tax reform bill or not.
Thank you very much for your time. This is Alamida and Samatu.
Yeah, let me tell you.